Welcome to the Business Continuity Management and Resilience course. This is a basic e-learning from Business Research. In this course you will learn to understand Business Continuity Management, or short, BCM. You will get to know the individual steps in the Business Continuity Management, and get an overview of the tasks that await you within the framework of the BCM. Module Overview. Modules discussed in this course are: first, the introduction. Second, roles in the BCM. Third, business impact and threat analysis. Fourth, design phase and implementation. Fifth, validation. Let's begin with the introduction to BCM. The process. BCM example. Learn how business continuity management and resilience is applied in this short example. The task. You have worked many years in your company. Because of your experience and knowledge about the company, your boss gave you the task of creating a BCM strategy. BCM, how does BCM help? With BCM it is possible to detect and prepare for situations which could harm the working process and the business. This provides valuable information to increase the resilience of the company. The process. As a BC manager, first you have to ensure the policy and program management. Then you have to go through the analyze, design, implement and validation phases which ensure establishing business continuity. The policy and program management contains 2 steps. First, write a policy which gets signed by the business executives or owners. Then begin with the program management. The analysis phase contains following steps. First, the business impact analysis. Determine the most important working process by scanning the business, for example finance and commerce departments. Then check which risks and threats are at the business location, for example nature or politics, and how can you protect the business against them and make the company more resilient. In the design phase, it's important to find time-dependent processes which have to be protected. Create a plan B to keep the process going, even if it has to be at another geographical, business location or with other production methods. Implementation phase. All of the time-critical departments of the business have to create a plan which includes their idea to keep the process going and conclude strategies and important resources. This is an emergency plan which shows them step by step who has to do which task. Validate the program. Test all emergency plans, practice each step, keep data up to date. The BCM has to be inspected by a BCM professional. If the BCM program passes the inspection, the business gets certified. Establish business continuity. Parallel to all previous steps, it is important to educate the business workers about the BCM topic and tasks. The whole BCM process will be repeated each year. This ensures that the process keeps getting improved. Quiz. Why does the BC manager create the business continuity management policy? 1. To meet all compliance targets. 2. There is no design use case, it just belongs to the BCM program. 3. The BCM policy is used as a reference book for BC managers. 4. To communicate the BC goals and content to stakeholders. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is to communicate the BC goals and content to stakeholders. Worst case scenario. Planning. Business continuity management belongs to a cluster of different disciplines. They contain: 1. Business continuity management. 2. Risk management. 3. IT service continuity. 4. Incident management and 5. Crisis management. BCM prepares the business for a fallout of critical resources. It depends on the individual business how impactful the critical resources are. Production companies should create plans for these 5 possible worst-case scenarios. Staff shortage. Loss of building. IT outage. Supplier and service provider breakdown. Failure of production machines. IT outage. BCM does not differentiate if in the scenario of an IT outage the servers burned down or if it was a cyber attack. Bridging measurements in case of IT outage. Use alternative resources. Customers have to receive information despite the outage. To rebuild the IT structure, use IT Service Continuity Management, ITSCM. Quiz. Why does BCM not differentiate between the causes of a resource outage? 1. Not all resources are known. 2. Because it is not possible to take all potential causes of an outage into account. 3. Because the cause is known already. 4. Because the crisis management team can handle every cause. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is because it is not possible to take all potential causes of an outage into account. The worst-case scenario plan should function and be adaptable regardless of the cause. Quiz. For home, any worst-case scenarios should production companies create plans according to BCM? 1, 2, 4, or 5 worst-case scenarios? Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: production companies should create plans for 5 worst-case scenarios. Module Overview. Here you'll find the overview of the module discussed in this course. Now we are at Chapter 2. Roles in BCM. Roles in BCM Normal Business Operation. Let's have a look at the Business Continuity Management roles. BCM is a process that once introduced is repeated every year. This life cycle brings continuous improvement of processes, methods, and tools. The roles described are needed to anchor the process permanently in the company. They are dependent of the business size and complexity, and the names may differ. Strategic. BC Sponsor. Tactical. Business Continuity Manager. Operative. Purchasing, IT, Production, Distribution Departments. Business Continuity Coordinator. Process Specialists. The BC Sponsor is the management which gave the order to implement BCM into the business. The BCM Manager is responsible for the implementation of BCM and has to update the BC Sponsor about the progress. He supports the departments with tools to implement BCM. The Business Continuity Coordinators support the BC Manager in their own operative department. The process specialists deliver their know-how for a successful implementation of BCM. Quiz. At what level is the BC Sponsor usually to be found? 1. Operational level. 2. Tactical level. 3. Strategic level. 4. Not mentioned here. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is strategic level. Quiz. Who is responsible for the implementation of BCM? 1. BC Manager. 2. BC Sponsor. 3. BC Coordinator. 4. Process Specialist. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is the BC Manager. Module Overview. 3. Business Impact and Threat Analysis. Business Impact Analysis, or short, BIA. As a BC Manager, you might ask yourself, how do I implement BCM in my international company with several hundred products and services? How do I prioritize the tasks? The Business Impact Analysis BIA helps to answer these questions. With support from the Business Continuity Coordinator and Process Specialists from the Operative Department, the BC Manager finds out what effects the failure of business processes will have on the company and the stakeholders. The BC Manager collects BIA data about time-sensitive business processes, effects of failure of the processes, required personnel in an emergency, required IT programs in an emergency, other resources needed in an emergency, PC, documents, workplaces, etc. Time-sensitive suppliers and service providers. The final BIA should indicate these parameters: recovery times of critical process after a failure, alternative resources needed, emergency operation level, at which level the operation should be continued in the event of an incident. Important parameters after the BIA. The BC Manager fetches the required information, for example with questionnaires from the departments. Then the results are getting consolidated and a report will be created. The results are reported back to the departments. Based on the results, the options for emergency operation are then determined. Quiz. Why is the business impact analysis carried out as part of BCM? 1. To understand the risks and threats for the business and stakeholders. 2. Because it is part of a complete business continuity management cycle. 3. To understand the requirements of the departments and to determine the restart order. 4. Everything from above is correct. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is to understand the requirements of the departments and to determine the restart order. These are the do and don't of the BIA. Do. The effects are always recorded over the course of time. The resource requirements are collected over time. Don't. Recovery parameters are unrelated to the impact. The different impacts are not consolidated together. The results of the individual BIA questionnaires are not consolidated. The financial effects are not determined, for example with controlling. Business Impact and Threat Analysis. Business Threat Analysis. BTA. The BC Manager has determined the impact of a resource failure, with the BIA now in the possible threats at the business location have to be determined with the Business Threat Analysis BTA. A popular method for this is the distribution of a questionnaire to the departments. In BTA analyze which threats could cause critical resources to fail. If these analyses have already been carried out by another department, this data is used for the BTA. If such a location-based threat analysis has not been conducted yet by another function, the BC manager will carry out a location-based threat analysis together with the departments like facility management, IT or production. Quiz. In which case is a threat analysis carried out by BCM? 1. In any case a threat analysis must be carried out as a part of the BCM. 2. To return analysis must be carried out every 2 years. 3. A threat analysis does not have to be carried out. 4. A threat analysis only needs to be performed when no other business function is determining the risk information for the relevant business assets. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: a threat analysis only needs to be performed when no other business function is determining the risk information for the relevant assets. These are the do and don't of the BTA. Do. Threat analysis is carried out together with experts in facility management, IT, production, etc. A threat analysis serves as the basis for the site inspection. At least 2 people are involved in a threat analysis. Don't. Carrying out a threat analysis without checking whether data is already available. Collect data for the BTA by sprinkling the questionnaires to wide, unmatched and inconsistent method. The threat analysis is performed by one person only. Design phase and implementation. The design phase. The BC manager has determined the impact and threats with the BIA and BTA analysis. Now the BC sponsor needs to be presented with the impacts, threats and the possible solutions in the design phase. The BC manager goes through the following steps in the design phase. 1. Design solutions for the different scenarios. 2. Check proposed solutions for feasibility with relevant departments. 3. Determine possible costs. 4. Summarize the results of the solution concept and present to the BC sponsor for a decision. What would happen if your business building breaks down by fire or water damage one day? How could everyday business be continued? A possible solution in this case is to use an alternative business office location of your company. There are many details to plan for such an option. Which employee should work where? The occupancy of the meeting rooms must be organized. Design phase. Comparison of the requirements in the event of a critical incident. Considering the financial aspects. Task of the department: review the suggested options and set a preference. The BC manager consolidated the requirements and informs the departments about the solution options. Quiz. For what does BCM discover possible solutions in the design phase? 1. To meet the compliance requirements of the customers. 2. To create a valid planning basis for the creation of business continuity plans and to compensate for the loss of critical resources in an emergency. 3. To determine the risks at the business site. 4. To keep the BC manager busy. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: to create a valid planning basis for the creation of business continuity plans and to compensate for the loss of critical resources in an emergency. These are the do and don't of the design phase. Do. Suggested solution options are checked with the departments for technical and organizational feasibility. At least 2 solution options for the management are evaluated. The costs for a solution option are compared with the financial impact. Don't. There is no cost-benefit analysis of each solution option. An attempt is made to plan all worst-case scenarios in one go. This creates the danger of overwhelming. A task in the design phase, for example, the determination of the solution options, is skipped completely. As a next step, the BC sponsor has to decide which solution options should be implemented and initiate the projects. In the meantime, the BC manager develops templates for the business continuity plans with the departments and coordinates response structures with the management. Why is an emergency response structure needed? In a critical incident, a crisis, is ensured that decision-making processes run faster. Ensure the restart of time, critical business processes. The response structure is set individually by the company. The construction of this structure is to be aligned with the size and complexity of the company. In a critical incident, only a few hierarchical levels should be involved. The response teams contain: Crisis Management Group. Leads the company through a crisis. Makes strategic decisions. Is provided with sufficient professional resources. Situation Center. Coordinates the restart of the business. Responsible for monitoring. Implementation of communication. Operational response teams in the departments. Carry out recovery activities as described in their BCM plan. Report regularly to the Situation Center. For each emergency scenario described at the beginning, BC plans must be drawn accordingly. Plans describe how the company should react in a critical incident and how the ability to work can be achieved again. Summarize plans for each location in one document or create one or more plans for each department. Plans differ not only according to the scenarios, but also according to the areas of responsibility of the response structure. In the response structure, each business level has a dedicated approach. Strategic level decides how to deal with the situation. Activates BC plan usage. Strategic plans are crisis response plan and crisis communication plan. Tactical level. The plans are primarily used to coordinate a restart of the business. Coordination plans for the different scenarios. Operational level. The processes described and tested are carried out with the BC plans. These contents should not be missing in a business continuity plan. The BC plan should be direct and action-oriented, applicable to as many types of critical incidents as possible. Offer assistance as a reference book. Be relevant to the special reaction team. A lot of content can be taken over from the analysis phase. The business restart is to be worked out by the departments. These contents should not be missing in a business continuity plan. Please stop the video and note down these contents. Quiz. At what level of the response structure can coordination plans be found? 1. Strategic level. 2. Tactical level. 3. Operational level. 4. Coordination plans are not a part of BCM. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: the response structure is found at the tactical level. Quiz. Which topic should not be found in BC plans? 1. Purpose. 2. Relevant addresses. 3. Advertising slogan. 4. Communication. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: the advertising slogan is not part of the BCM. These are the do and don't of the implementation. Do. Short, concise business restart processes. Clear business continuity plans. 20 to 25 pages. Only relevant information. Don't. Content that does not help in the event of a critical incident. Restart processes without plan times. Business continuity plans without specific business restart descriptions. Design phase and implementation. Validation phase. The validation phase completes the 5-step BCM lifecycle. To this point, the impacts of a worst-case scenario are assessed. Threats are identified. Solutions are worked out. Plans for a critical incident are finalized. Now the last phase begins. Testing the plans in the validation phase. Quality assurance contains the tasks: testing, reviews, care and adjustments. The most important component and involvement as departments is the testing of the business continuity plans. The complexity and effort involved in preparing and conducting tests will increase over time. The BC manager will prepare information, templates and training for these department tests. Familiarize members of the response teams with the workings of the BC plans. Use lessons learned from previous years' testing and avoid repeating the same mistakes. Recognizing errors in the BC plans while testing is important to prevent uncomfortable situations in a critical incident. It is not the goal to immediately pass every test without making any mistakes. Gaps should be identified in the documentation. Technical precautions are checked for function and use. 3 categories of testing levels exist: lower maturity level, where BC plans are discussion-based reviewed. The plans are examined for gaps in content and logic errors. Medium maturity level, where technical precautions are checked. Individual teams are looking for alternative business locations. The crisis team and the situation center are prepared for the crisis in simulations. Higher maturity level, where with a crisis simulation the interaction of all teams is tested in a day in real time, without disrupting daily business. Exercises are planned and organized by the BC manager. The discussion-based tests and the individual BC plan tests are in the responsibility of the departments. Quiz. What happens in the validation phase? 1. Testing, reviews and maintenance. 2. Development of the management and control process. 3. Training of employees, implementation of awareness measures. 4. Develop emergency plans. Please stop the video if you need more time now. The correct answer is: testing, reviews and maintenance. These are the do and don't of the validation phase. Do. All participants are aware of the requirements. Send written information in advance. Depending on the scope of the test, also inform other areas or the rest of the company. Don't. Undocumented test and test without a plan. Testing without specific goals. Not enough variations in the test. Always the same participants in the tests. Access and content of offsite repositories and resources not integrated in the test. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the Business Continuity Management Basics course. Thank you for your attention.